All right, hello, and welcome to this weather update. It's February the 3rd, 2018, and I'm pretty down about the change in the weather pattern that we were supposed to expect, and I was looking forward to. And you remember that beautiful weather we had at the end of December into early January, the Arctic air, the deep blue skies, and this is just a picture taken on December 28th, 2017. Around 1:30 in the afternoon in the Pine Barrens west of Toms River. And beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful place. The temperatures were only in the teens. We had a nice deep blue sky. It was bitterly cold, but it was beautiful. Unfortunately, we may not see any of that for the rest of the winter. It would look like we were going to get to see some more of it, but we're going to talk about how the miles have changed and what we have to look forward to the next week or so, which is unfortunately more crappy, a lot of cloudy weather, and no real winter weather in sight right now at this point for us. So let's take a look at the satellite, and then we're going to look at the computer models and see what we got coming up. First thing we will be looking at is the satellite image today. 12-hour infrared satellite loop, and it was supposed to be the same thing happened with I think it was supposed to be Wednesday's weather. We were supposed to have a nice day, and it turned out that it was just cloudy, and we just had invading high clouds throughout the whole day. And high clouds and cirrus and contrails, is not what I like to do for my hobby. Which if you know that my hobby is hiking in the Pine Barrens and doing nature photography, and I like to. When I do these pictures, I like to have the essence of the time before, modern day. And when you have lines in the sky from all the airplanes, it kind of ruins that essence. But anyway, the cirrus, which often accompanies all these contrails, has been rolling in all day, and this is a 12-hour satellite loop from this morning, and you can see it just rolling in all day. We never really got. And I'm going to explain to you what's going on and why we never got a clear day, with the same reason why the last chance we had, we also never got a clear day. And we'll take a look now at a broader view satellite image. Let's go ahead and look at the United States one for the whole United States. All right. And you can see what the problem is. There's too much of a west to east zonal flow going on, and the Pacific jet is really strong. And I drew up a diagram last night, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay, I drew up this diagram. It looks kind of crappy, but try to understand what's going on. I drew this up last night because I knew it wasn't going to be clear today. And it says, damn Pacific jet keeps spitting junk at us and keeps the core of cold air away. So basically what it is you got this Pacific jet that wasn't supposed to be so active, and it's spitting these constant low pressure systems at us, and we can't get into the air up here, air in Canada. We can't get into this beautiful air. It can't come down. It's not being allowed to come down because of this jet stream roaring in from the Pacific. So now we're going to look at the computer models, and I'm going to explain to you a little more about how the models change their mind and how all the folks who love winter weather. Now, I'm not a fan of the snow, but if you're a fan of the snow, you're really going to hate this forecast because it does not look like we're going to see any significant snow in the next 10 days. Which is kind of really unusual in February. So now let's take a look at the computer models. Okay, so we are looking at the GFS, and right now this is the current one, but I want to roll it back a couple of days ago. This is the current one from 18Z Saturday, but we're going to go back and look at the model from, let's go ahead and look at this one from February 1st, 0Z Thursday. And we're going to go ahead and look at that and see how it's changed. So we're looking at this, and you can see, first of all, that the storm track is completely different, and the cold air is coming down much more from Canada. And you can see we have a high pressure system building in Monday into Tuesday, and then we have another one, a much more intense low that's going to really open the floodgates for much more cold air to come on down from Canada. And then we could have a chance for snow on the weekend, and then really bitterly cold weather into February 10th into 13th. That's what was supposed to happen. If we go ahead and we look at the thermodynamics, which is the anomaly, I'll just show you that. You could see all that bitter cold air that was supposed to be around mid-February. All right, that was supposed to come down. It was supposed to be, and especially next Friday, it was supposed to be bitter cold air too coming down. And so that's what it is. We'll look at another run here. Let me look at another run. We'll go back even further here. Let's go back to 18Z Wednesday, January 31st. So I just want to show you what's changed. All right, so you can see the cold air coming down and really coming down. All right, one after another, and it lets up a little bit toward the end of the period. And a huge ridge out west. Well, that ridge out west is not as strong as was originally forecast. So if I go back and let's just go ahead and look at the. All right. So here's the problem. Again, we're looking at the model from 18Z Wednesday. All right, so you can see we had that big trough. You see right around February the 7th, Wednesday. We had this big trough starting to dig in. All right, but the problem is if we go ahead and we look at the current model, which is 18Z today, the trough is much shallower. All right, much shallower, and this is all because this polar vortex, which was supposed to come down, is not coming down because we have a Pacific jet that's raging and spitting a lot of moisture. Just ask my friend PNW Elevator. He's been getting nailed with rainstorms one after another in his area. It's got to be rough. And this, again, is due to warmer than normal temperatures in the oceans due to climate change. But if we go back and we put this into thermodynamics, all right, so we're back into the current model here. All right, so this is the current model GFS. Remember when I showed you all that cold air coming down? Well, you can see we're getting a little bit of it, but most of it is not really even being allowed to come down. It's building in Canada. You can see it building in Canada there, February 8th, but yet it's close, but we can't really get into it. And just to the north of us, this is the anomaly again, it pulls out, and we just can't get into it. It's so close. And then that other plunge for the weekend goes right into the west. So it's very disappointing to see. We have the cold air. It's close. It looks like it may try to bring a cool down by February 15th, maybe. But again, the Jetstream is not what it was supposed to be doing. It was supposed to be. I wish I could draw on the screen. Okay. I'm going to draw the Jetstream for you in. Trying to think of a color to draw it in. I'll draw it in purple. All right, so I'm going to draw the Jetstream for you and show what the models were showing and what is changed basically. So what the models were showing, and why we were going to get a cold air outbreak into mid-February and chances for snow, is the Jetstream was supposed to be a ridge over here in the west that was supposed to be in more. All right, it was supposed to be in more, meaning more to the northeast. All right, so, and that was going to deflect the Jetstream down southward, so we'd get a trough in the east to bring down the cold air, and then we were supposed to get blocking up here, so blocking around Greenland. All right, and blocking is basically if you got a high. If you got a high, I'll just put in a high right here. Alright, and then it was supposed to be a high here. Alright, so we're supposed to get the blocking that was supposed to develop, alright? And this, in turn, was going to deflect the cold air right down into our area, and also bring chances for snow as the storms tracked, offshore and, created a situation where you could get a coastal storm. I don't want the snow, but I'm just saying, for those who do want the snow, but what instead is happening is, instead of this deflection here, what we are getting is a Jetstream that's that's ridged a little more offshore like this and is a little flatter. Alright, so we're getting the specific actually that's not quite right. Let's try it like this. So the Jetstream is like this. Flatter ridge, faster also, it's faster. There's more storms that keep coming along it, but instead of it diving down like we showed you, it's more like this. And like I said, I'm doing the best I can here. Actually, it's not even like that. It's like this. Alright, so it's flatter. And there is not a block around Greenland either. So the cold air is having trouble coming down. So the cold air that we want cold air from the Arctic up here can't come down. It's blocked. It's deflected. So if you're in Canada, if you want to go to Canada, Hudson Bay, you're getting beautifully cold weather, and you're going to enjoy that. But that's not coming down here because the jet stream is not allowing it to. Instead, the ridge over here is further to the west, and it's not creating the block that we need to bring down the cold air and like push this jet stream up and bring down the cold air. So the storms that we are getting, and there are a lot of them coming in off the Pacific, they are one after another every other day. It's a fast-moving zonal kind of pattern, and the track is taking it inland instead of offshore. So instead of getting snow, we're getting rain, and the warm air is coming up from the south. So we're getting this warm air up from here. I know I suck at this. All right, I'm sorry. All right, I'm just trying to explain what's going on. So basically, there's been a fundamental change in the way the models are handling the jet stream patterns. I know there's terms like North Atlantic Oscillation, PNA, and all that other stuff that I don't really follow. It's very technical, but generally speaking, instead of getting this polar vortex coming down, instead of getting this beautiful cold air over here coming down toward us, it's getting blocked because it's sort of like the Pacific is spitting out. It's spitting out all this warm Pacific air, and it's blocking the cold from coming down. It's just rapid. It's sort of like an eddy in a stream. Imagine this is like a fast-moving stream, and it's an eddy in a stream. And if we can't get this to move down, then we can't get into this. It's being deflected up. So that's the best way I can explain it to you, and that's why we're not seeing the Arctic air that we were supposed to when February began. But anyway, I want to go back to the computer models and show you what we are going to get, and it's not pretty, folks. So again, looking at the current GFS 2-meter temperature anomaly in Celsius, this is the current one. As of this will be a week from today, Saturday, and it has us way above normal. We're going to be in the 50s, all right? But if we go back to, let's go back to the 18Z reading on Tuesday, you could see much different. You could see it has it much colder for the weekend. See that cold air coming down? This was the 18Z run. 18Z Sat for February 10th. So this is Tuesday, January 30th GFS run. And now let's take a look at the current one. Instead of the cold air, we got all this warm air. So a big difference, a big, huge disappointment. And for those who like the cold or snow, or cold and snow, I like the cold but not necessarily the snow. We're not going to get either of that, folks, I'm afraid. And I'm just going to switch it back to the regular view here. Go back to this, and you'll see that there are no chances for snow. There may be, into the weekend, there may be enough cold air nearby that maybe we see some snow. But you see this ridge over here offshore. It's going to be pumping up the warm air, and that ridge is just, you can see we got a ridge offshore now, and it's just completely different from what we were supposed to get. I don't know when we're going to see a cool down. Maybe toward the end of the period. It looks like maybe some of the cold air might, you can see the trough right here, might be coming down. But the problem right now is the Pacific jet stream. It is a problem, and it is our nemesis. For those who like the cold weather, when you have a very strong Pacific jet stream, not only does it suck for PNW Elevator with all the rainstorms, but it sucks for us too, because it shuts down the cold air. It does not allow the real Arctic air to get down here, and it keeps pumping up the junk, the moisture, one system after another, and we can't get the clear air to build in, so we get a nice clear day. Instead, we're always dealing with that freaking cirrus all the time. Okay, so we're going to look at this snowfall forecast from the GFS now, all right? So you can see, I think if we go all the way out, not much snow for our area. Most of the snow is going upstate because the storms are tracking to the west or over us. So all the way out till February 13th. Not much snow for our area. Maybe I see a little purple here for us. So like I said, we get to the end of the period, we might actually start seeing some snow. For those who want the snow. But for the most part, actually the snowfall total is pretty much, you could almost see where the jet stream is if you follow the striping. There it is. So that's the problem. It's not coming down far enough because, again, of that Pacific jet that's coming through. I want to look at, and again, you know what? We'll look at the rain too. In fact, we'll do total accumulated precipitation. Let's go ahead and look at that, and it'll actually show where the rain is falling. You can also see there where the jet stream is. So you can sort of see where the jet stream is set up and the way it is set up. There will be a couple of, like I said, toward the end of the period, toward the middle of February, maybe we'll start seeing a change. Maybe there'll be some coastal storms. Maybe there'll be more troughiness in the east. Maybe some more blocking so we can get into that Arctic air. But for this upcoming week and probably the next week, at least this upcoming week through next weekend, there won't be any Arctic air or any chances for snow unless you're north of the city. Let's go ahead and look at the NAM model. We'll get a little more short range here with that. Alright, change it to the snowfall. Actually, we'll change it to north. It'll go a little closer here to our area. Right, I'll show you what I mean here. So, total snowfall, NAM model, you can see. Actually, that's the 0Z run. Let's go to the 18Z run. So, again, you can see most of the snow is north of the city. So, if you're north of the city, upstate, in central Pennsylvania and up here you'll see the snow, but for the rest of us it's just going to be rain, and tomorrow is going to be a pretty miserable rainy day for New York City, Long Island, much of New Jersey, and it's going to suck for sure. Okay, we're going to look at some text guidance here for the Long Island area here. These are text models. This is a text model of the GFS short range model. This GFS MOS guidance, basically, I'll show you how to read it. This is the temperature, forecast temperature. This is the forecast dew point. This is the forecast cloud condition. Here, this line is forecast wind direction. This line here is forecast wind speed. And this is the 6-hour precipitation chance. This is the 12-hour precipitation chance. And this is the precipitation type. Alright, so as you can see, it's going to warm up rapidly tomorrow into the probably low 40s, and we're going to have rain picking up, especially toward the evening. And it's going to be a rainy night, and then as we get into Monday, I see some clear here, which means clear sky perhaps, and I'm hoping and praying at least we get some clear sky out of it. The highs will be cold, a little below normal, but no Arctic air. And this is just a short range model. This is Monday and this would be Tuesday. I want to show you the longer range model, the longer range GFS text model. Alright, and this is the longer range GFS text model for the Farmingdale airport. This is the one I use because it's closest. It's most representative of Nassau County's weather conditions. Again, same thing here. Temperature. This is 0Z and 12Z. This would be the min-max up here. This is the dew point. This is the cloud. Wind direction. The wind speed, actually. And precipitation chances down below. You can see clouds 0Z Monday, but by 12Z Monday we should have a clear sky. But then after that, we have a lot of clouds around, and temperatures above normal. Wednesday 46, goes back to around average for Thursday and Friday. Maybe we'll get clear sky on Friday. Maybe we'll get that again. But again, with this fast-moving pattern, the high-pressure system's coming in, passing off to the south, and then racing offshore. It doesn't allow the cold air or clear skies to build. And then by Saturday, look at that, we're up to 51. Yeah, it was supposed to be much colder than this, but if it was, if we were looking at this text guidance and it was from, say, last week, last Wednesday, you'd see a high on Friday probably 28, and then Saturday you'd see a high at 25, and then maybe Sunday you would have seen a high maybe only around 20. But no, not this time. Unfortunately, the Arctic air has been shut off by the Pacific jet. So that'll be it for this update. I think we need that cold weather back. All right, we need winter back. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. Take care and thank you for watching.